We are live for the boxing talks. Live for the boxing talks. It's wild out here. Calling from the Hotel California. Let me post the link for the people on Twitter. Post the link for the people on Twitter. All right, hold up. About to get it rocking in here. All right, y'all give me a second. Go to the comments. I got my Big Mac with me. Yummy, yummy. Chris Matthias was good. Rob was good. Displayed here are the complaints issued by Terrence Crawford and his legal counsel. Breach of contract, fraudulent misrepresentation, negligent misrepresentation, breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, tortious breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. And, you know, like I said, when it comes to the breach of contract, that is going to come down to what's in the fine print, what's actually in the contract. Though, having read the complaint, I got to tell you, it reads like a child wrote it. It really does. I mean, the amount of hearsay and conjecture without actually citing specific dates and specific instances where Bob Arum did something specific to Terrence Crawford that constitutes the defamation of character. Because if you look at this, that's what this is. You could literally look at this entire complaint and go to your own legal counsel and formulate a defamation of character counter lawsuit based on this complaint, because a lot of it is just hearsay. For Christ's sake, they brought up a quote from Dana White. And I have several screenshots of the PDF that I'm going to be putting on display. Got my man Drew in the building. Got my man VXR UK Rob. Don't care. I ain't. That's right. Don't care. That's how I have the fight. For those that don't know, it's looking a lot like Shakur Stevenson is going to be fighting Oscar Valdez. I'm very excited about that fight. I like Shakur Stevenson's chances. I don't want to get all the way into that fight because I want to talk about it in an episode of the Relay. But for now, you know, this is why we're here. We are here because of the tortious breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. Oh, it was implied. It was implied. It's wild out here, man. Right, and Yogi was good. Chris Matthias was good. Mork was good. And yeah, man, it's wild out here, man. It's wild out here, man. You know, I read through, shout out to Steve Kim, who sent me the PDF of the official complaint. And I read through it and I was like, yo, dog, this looks like a child wrote it. It literally looked, they even misspelled Spence's name in one of the paragraphs. In one of the paragraphs, yo, they really misspelled Spence's name. I'm like, yo, these cats is wild, B. Y'all really, I firmly believe, having read through the documents, that this is about defaming Bob Arum's character and defaming Top Rank as a company more than it's about pursuing damages. I feel like, having read it, there's just so much hearsay and conjecture that does not substantiate the claim that Terrence Crawford is making. And I told y'all from the very beginning that the most that he can aspire to achieve out of all of this is to potentially get whatever's owed to him as a result of a breach. If there is a breach. I don't know if there's a breach, but that's the most he can hope to get, because the other stuff is just childish, bro. It's just childish. It all really comes down to whether or not the Horn fight was part of a 6-fight deal or not. Well, it is a little bit more comprehensive than that. You know, it is a little bit more comprehensive than that. There's some interesting particulars in there about the about an agreement that they reached for the Igis Kavaliauskas fight, which is very interesting. But it kind of goes back to the argument. Well, not the argument, but what I was saying before, that for all I know, the reason he was paid as much as he was paid for the Amir Khan fight, it could be the bonuses that he was supposed to get, them having not made the Spence fight. Though there's some very conflicting information in there, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm going to put one particular image on screen that I think is very interesting. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if this is the one. Y'all give me a second. Bear with me. Let me see. Is this the one? Make sure I got all my documents in order because this is comedy. To me, this is just it's comedy. Like, I firmly believe, having read this, that Brian Friedman is just an ambulance chaser. He's a bloodsucker. He gets paid anyway, so he doesn't care. Okay, so displayed here, and I'm gonna open this up to the panel now. I want to get everybody in on this so we can discuss it. And I don't want anybody making any inflammatory statements. I don't want anybody, because I'm still a fan of Terrence Crawford, but a crappy case is a crappy case. I got to keep it real with y'all. A crappy case is a crappy case, man. Like, and I'm still a fan of Terrence Crawford, last of a dying breed, who claims to be Terrence Crawford's cousin. Listen, man, you tell Crawford that I still love him, bro. Regardless of what he's doing, I still love him. I still care about him and his career and all of that. But this is a crappy case. All right, so let me let y'all in on the fun. Right now on the panel, we got Drew, we got Chris Matthias, we got Napoli. All right, so just anybody who's willing, just read the highlighted portion of the PDF file. Go ahead. Anybody who feels like reading.
During the relevant time period prior to December 31st, 2020, Spence was physically able to compete in professional boxing, 71. During the relevant time period prior to December 31st, 2020, Top Rank did not offer Crawford the opportunity to participate in a bout with Spence.
Mm-hmm. That's all I can fucking do, Jules, is fucking laugh at this erroneous ass fucking settlement lawsuit bullshit.
Yeah, because the first thing, I read through the, and there's a lot wrong with this. I mean, for starters, Errol Spence Jr. was, I'm gonna wing it, right? Errol Spence Jr. was not physically cleared to spar, much less fight, until September of 2020, literally, right? Like, he literally was not medically cleared to spar until September of 2020. Before that, we know that he was recovering from the car accident that he was involved in October of 2019. So when you take Top Rank and Bob Arum to court saying that, oh, well, you guys didn't make Spence an offer prior to December 2020, well, maybe it's because he was coming off a fucking car accident. Did that dawn on anyone? Like, really, dog?
Maybe he was about to fuck around and die.
I love that word, though. This whole lawsuit is without merit and frivolous.
It is frivolous.
It's frivolous. It's arbitrary and capricious. It's nonsense, baseless.
It's nonsensical. It really is.
Everybody, one at a time. All right. It's capricious. It's a Capri Sun, is what it is. I want to let Napoli in on this because Napoli doesn't get to say too much, but he's always wanted to be on the panel. Napoli, tell me what you think about this highlighted portion of the PDF.
Let me read it. During the relevant time period.
I mean, essentially, they want damages because Top Rank.
But for what? That's what I'm saying. For what? You know what I'm saying? It's, I can't. It's a bullshit lawsuit. I really think that, like, Crawford is just mad. He's just really mad. He just, like, I really don't understand. Like, honestly, this is just I think he fucked himself. Really.
I think he's being put up to it. I want to let Drew chime in on the conversation.
You know what? I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, somebody had to, like, whisper in his ear, like, yo, you should do. If I was you, I should file suit against this dude.
One at
a time. All right. First, let me pass it to Drew. Then I want to go to Chris. Okay, Drew. So you see, in a nutshell, and I'm going to put the PDF for you guys. Essentially, there's a portion of the complaint that states that for the Kavaliauskas fight, Terrence Crawford was promised a bonus every time the Spence fight doesn't happen, right? This was for the Kavaliauskas fight. He also claims that there was misrepresentation in association with the Kavaliauskas fight. He's kind of making it seem like they painted him into a corner to take that fight. And he's saying that because the Spence fight didn't happen, afterwards, and because Spence was not offered the fight, that he's due damages. And what's not in there is the car accident that Errol Spence Jr.
And Egas was the WBO mandatory.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of stuff not in there, Jules. There's Terrence Crawford on record saying he don't want to talk about Spence no more. There's Spence saying that he's not going to go to another network. All the actual nuts and bolts of what was preventing the fight is not in there.
Exactly.
And this lawsuit is going to get thrown out, and Terrence Crawford's going to have to come out of pocket to his attorney and the Top Rank's legal fees.
Mm-hmm.
So all this is just
a
PR fucking boner and a waste of time, because Terrence Crawford, let's be honest, I love Terrence Crawford as a fighter. Terrence Crawford does not fight enough to become a mainstream celebrity.
Well, I'm gonna go. I want to go further before I pass it to Chris. And this is the thing: every boxer aspires to the same thing. They all want to be pay-per-view attractions, pay-per-view stars. They all aspire to this. But the reality of it is that most of them won't be pound for pay-per-view attractions. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it is. And having looked at this and the frivolity, because I looked all through this, while we were getting, because there's a big snowstorm out here, long story short, so we doubled down.
Yeah, it's coming.
Me and my family, we doubled down and made sure we got the fuck out of Dodge just in case the same shit that happened before happened again. Long story short.
Yep.
So
did you hop on your spaceship, Jules? Because you are an alien.
I am an alien. It is the truth. And and while we were doing that, I was reading through the case. Shout out to Steve Kim once again for making this available to me. I was reading through it. I'm like, yo, these guys can't be serious with, you cannot be serious. And some of the stuff that I'm going to post on screen, it's like, yo, dog, are you fucking kidding me, dog?
And Julius, can I intersect too? I know, because when he said, "Oh, he's racially biased against black fighters," I'm like, wait, hold up. This is the same promoter that promoted Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, to where they are today.
Listen, let me give you some retort. Can I give you a retort?
Chris, first, let me say this. Then the floor is yours. How can your legal counsel claim that you offered preferential treatment to Latino fighters when your legal counsel represented a Latino fighter that was taking issue with Bob Arum? Think about it. If Crawford is saying that Latino fighters get preferential treatment, your lawyer is saying this, right? Your lawyer represented Mikey Garcia, and I don't think that Mikey Garcia would say he got preferential treatment when he sat out for 2 years.
He sat out for 2 years, waiting for that contract.
Tried to cock block on the purse bid.
Exactly. All right, now, Chris, tell me what you think, man. Having just seen, just this right quick, what do you make of it?
This is unmitigated nonsense of the highest order. I love Terrence Crawford. I have people who know Terrence Crawford. I love dude, but I don't know whoever was chirping in his ear. It's not smart. It's not smart at all what he was doing.
Okay, so let me post another. Go ahead, Chris.
That's what I was saying.
I was going to say this about Marvin Hagler. He had to go. He had to go to Ted Kennedy and sue Bob Arum. So that argument about Bob Arum doing right by him doesn't really fly.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah.
No.
I didn't know that.
What happened with that is everybody was cock blocking Hagler. So Hagler had the backing of the politicians in his area. They're like, look, Bob, if you don't want us to look into all you and your other boxing promoters' business dealings, give my man a title.
But mind you, from 19, I'm just going to bring this little.
From Hagler,
I'm not bringing this little.
Hold on, one at a time.
Hagler had nothing but handshake deals with Bob Arum. Steve Kim can verify that. And if Bob Arum wasn't involved in the Leonard fight, Hagler wasn't going to do it.
That is a fact. But I was just saying this in general. From 1970 to 1979, Bob Arum and Rudo Sabatini made sure the middleweight championship did not come back to America, and there was a whole bunch of black fighters that didn't fight for that title. And I'm not saying that was Bob.
Right?
One at a time. One at a time. One at a time. Now,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it was racial bias at all, but it's kind of fishy. But like you were saying,
this is the thing. Now, hold on. Now, let me champ the shit. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. Marvin Hagler, South Africa, apartheid, what have you. What the fuck does that have to do with Terrence Crawford? In what way does that constitute? Hold on. In what way does that constitute that you were wronged or you weren't promoted on the premise of a racial bias? Because you're not giving names and dates and specific instances of where you, the fighter, you, the individual, were wronged. You're not.
Yeah.
You can't bring up the 60s and no. That has absolutely nothing to do with your tenure at Top Rank. It literally
I know, and I'm not trying to put Marvin Hagler and Terrence Crawford's situation at all, because it's completely starkly different. I was just breaking a different point, but what you're saying is 100% on base.
Let me add to this, Jules. Like, if Terrence, you guys remember when Donald Sterling had those voice conversations and text message released? And the NBA got him up out of there within 2 weeks.
It's going to take some.
If Terrence Crawford,
it's going to take something like that, Drew.
On on Top Rank, on Todd DeBuff, and on Bob Arum, ESPN would break that deal. He doesn't have anything like that, or it would have got out already.
And first, I want to let me say that. Let me just disclaim everything. Disclaimer. I don't know that Terrence Crawford has damning audio or damning video. None of us know that, right? If he does, and that's really what it's going to take. Because if this is the case, if quotes from Dana White and quotes from Floyd Mayweather, if that's the case, if Dillian White not getting the split that he wants is your anecdotal or character evidence of what you're alleging, bro, you don't have a case, bro. At least not in that respect, you know what I mean? Featured here, you'll see some quotes from Bob Arum where he says he could build a house on Beverly Hills on the money he's lost on his last 3 fights. Promoting its most popular and well-known white fighters, yes, Arum has not openly criticized them, but what's not in there? The guy that they're talking about, Tyson Fury, he brought Top Rank a $19 million gate alongside Deontay Wilder. So, of course, they're not going to talk about him like that. 2, he wasn't with Top Rank as long as you were. You were losing Top Rank's money long before Tyson Fury was a Top Rank fighter. The Victor Postol pay-per-view lost money, but they put you on pay-per-view to satisfy your financial demands. They did what they could to get you the money that you wanted. And this all reads to me as being very ungrateful, if I'm being honest, because there's only so much Bob Arum and Top Rank could have done for you. And there are a lot of people who are far too comfortable running with their feelings and their narratives when, like, dog, if Spence didn't want to fight him, it ain't a goddamn motherfucking thing that Bob could have did about that.
Exactly.
Or anybody.
About that.
Exactly.
Hey, Julius, can I say this? Julius.
Go ahead.
Bob Arum even said he lost money on Tyson Fury, so that dispels that whole narrative that he doesn't denigrate, white fighters. He told the truth. It's not denigrating when he's telling the truth. Mind you, they lost money on the Wilder and Fury fights.
Yes, they did.
They were cool.
And he said they lost money. That's the funny thing.
We have to say this. Bob Arum denigrates every fucking body.
Bro, he'd denigrate me if I was outside of his house.
He's done it to Dana White. He's done it to Eddie Hearn. He's done it to everybody in that business.
I mean, see, this
man
is the
or
thing.
woman.
If and I'm going to say this, if the lawsuit consisted primarily of the breach of contract, okay, now you're cooking with rice. But you have literally cooked up a case to where he can turn right around
and countersuit.
And sue you for defamation of character, because you cannot unless you can, and it's not looking when you're bringing up Dillian White and the WBC and you're bringing up Dana White and what he said when see, there's a quote in there from Dana White that states, "I hate Bob, pay your effing fighters." There's a quote. And it's like, well, yeah, but you could turn right around and say that about Dana because Jake Paul's saying that about him. So I mean, what kind of circumstantial, just what kind of hearsay and conjecture is this? Like,
All
this
I
is like
see here is a losing proposition. Like, Bob has said some reckless shit in the past, but nowhere near as close to what the type of level that Donald Sterling has said in terms of like disparaging remarks about a race. Now,
Yes.
I see this and I'm like, dude, you're bringing up names of other people, historical events, things that have nothing to do with this supposed breach of contract that is happening here. Now, I was wondering, is it possible that you could sue a media conglomerate for an alleged media blackout against what you accomplished? Now, they could he like I wish he had a case against Fox Sports because if you recall, from the time that he won the WBO title from this motherfucker,
Jeff Horn.
Jeff Horn, right? Up until the Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence, there has been no mention of Terrence Crawford's holding a belt at 147. Whenever there's a matchup in the welterweight division that's being broadcasted. Now, I wish he came at this with this energy at this motherfucking Bill Wanger because they didn't do their due diligence covering the sport of boxing. They felt like they were just doing biased media work for their fighters. But I get it. I don't think there's something there that could try to criminally involve these people.
Two boxing writers told me that once Terrence got with Top Rank and got his first title and once he got undisputed, they started making a list of how many media opportunities Terrence Crawford denied doing. They have on record several times Terrence did not want to play ball and do media obligations and promote events.
Well, hold on. Let me champ the shit. Okay. What I want to say is this: I'm not gonna trash Terrence Crawford the person. I still like Terrence Crawford the person and the fighter.
Yeah.
However, the case is shit. So I want to pass it to Mark, but let me say this: that it's either this is single-handedly the biggest titty attack and temper tantrum I've seen from a fighter, because it reads like a temper tantrum. You didn't make me a star. Like, bro, don't you get it? If the PBC has the run of the place at 147 pounds, I will do what I can for you, but there is only so much I can do. And you can't dictate to me what I talk about when it comes to my money, because when you fight, it's not on your dime. It's on my dime. And I am at liberty to say I took a loss or I took losses. I'm at liberty to say that. What I noticed every time that Bob Arum mentioned taking a loss on Crawford is he said he's a great, great fighter. He's the best welterweight in the world, literally, because I have all the quotes myself. I do videos about the shit all the time. And he never disparaged him as a person or as a fighter, simply as a marquee attraction. And that's what the numbers show. That, like, yo, dog, we put you out there for $6 million and Sean got 4 and you got 6 and we lost money. And we put you out there with Khan for 4.5 or 4.8 and he got whatever he got. And what happened? We lost money. You can't sue me for speaking my mind about my own fucking investment. Are you crazy? Mark, what do you say?
I read through it last night, and then I read through it again, and I kind of chuckled to myself a little bit because this isn't winnable unless there's something there, like you have recording of him calling you certain things and saying certain things about you.
It's not winnable
to you and saying this is why I'm not promoting you properly. Mm-hmm. All Bob needs to do is show up in any court and say, where is my pay-per-view star? Because based on this, it doesn't matter. Bob has a whole load of fighters, whole load of them. He doesn't have a pay-per-view star anywhere. Mm-hmm. And he has white fighters, Asian fighters, Mexican fighters, black fighters. None of them are a pay-per-view star. Not one of them.
Not one of them.
So I don't get it. Which is why I asked last time I was on your live. Like if there's like racial bias that fucked up your earning potential, I'm like, who benefited?
Exactly. And
if there's any bias anywhere, against Terrence Crawford, It was the conglomerate of fans saying he didn't deserve a fucking fight with Errol Spence because he's not an A-star attraction.
Thank you, Mark. I want to say this, that I don't think Terrence and his legal counsel realize how redundant the entire case is, because Top Rank has invested millions and millions of dollars in you. They don't benefit from your failures at all. Their failures, your failures are their failures. It's not one way to where Crawford fails but Top Rank wins. No, it doesn't work like that, because you're on their dime. So when you fail, they fail. And Bob Arum has a right to be mad about it because it's on his dime, like it or not. Now, I've said this many times. It's not how I would have did business. I'm not going to air him out because I know it's not his fault. I know it's not his fault. I know that, look, the guy he's an excellent fighter, but he has the personality of a doorknob. And it just is what it is. This fighters like that. They got the personality of a doorknob. What the hell can you do? I watched.
I don't think it's personality. It's just Terence Crawford's trepidations with media outlets. He always stated this: media has always been known to misconstrue people's words and make narratives and try to be salacious. That's their way of making money, prey.
I gotta say this.
Go ahead.
I like the verbiage. It's trepidatious. It's salacious. That's what it is, Chris. It's trepidation. That is 4 syllables, by the way.
And I love that word. It's a very good word.
That is
my whole point in this. Every boxer at Crawford's level knows that's what the media does. Canelo does that. But Canelo still makes himself available to said media because that's the cost of doing business. He's going to a fucking A-list celebrity golf tournament at Pebble Beach. Why? Because he knows that increases his brand.
Well, and let's be honest.
That's
Canelo,
true. Yeah,
Canelo likes the putt. Canelo likes the putt.
He does.
He does
what I'm
golf.
saying, Jules, is there's been several times where Crawford has been asked to be available by media, and he's denied because I don't want to get misquoted or whatever his trepidation is of the media. So what is that? Top Rank holding him back, or is that Terence Crawford holding him back?
Listen, it goes back to the Guillermo Regandio case, and I talked about this in my last award-winning relay video. That listen, if Top Rank was
award-winning,
listen, Chris, I won like 3 fucking Emmys off that shit.
You need help, bro.
In all seriousness,
I like to thank my constituents.
I would just like to remind Jules that it's another Capricorn birthday today of Sade.
It's Jade's birthday. It's Roy Jones Jr.'s birthday. Capricorns. Let's celebrate. Yeah. What I'm saying is this, though. Look at the case of Rigo, right? You got so many guys that'll stand online single file waiting to tell you about how Top Rank held back Rigo, when in reality, Rigo stopped dealing with them years ago, and people still didn't watch his fights. They still didn't watch them. He was just on Showtime. Look at the viewership numbers. There's no way that years after you've left Top Rank, right? You have not been a Top Rank fighter in damn near a decade. And you telling me that they're the reason people didn't watch his fights? No, you guys that love him so much, when it's time to argue, you don't love him when it's time to watch boxing. You don't love him when it's time to go to his fight. You don't. Your support is fake. Your outrage is fake. Because when he fought Liborio Solis, where were you guys? When he fought John Real Casimiro, where were you? Even if you couldn't be there, where were you in the viewership numbers? Were you even watching at home? Now, I know because I watched the fucking fight, bro. It was an awful fight to watch. You're not going to convince me otherwise. That was an awful fight to watch. I could probably get people to not watch boxing anymore with that fight. All right? That's how bad it was. And you cannot blame Bob Arum for his predicament when, I'm sorry to tell you this, he's boring. Sorry. But he's boring. Leo,
Jules,
hold on. Leo hasn't had the chance to speak. Leo, go ahead.
Have you discussed, you guys discussed in some part of this conversation about Terence Crawford throwing Bob Arum under the bus a couple of years ago?
No, go ahead, Leo. Go ahead.
I remember when Terence Crawford went to the Joe Rogan Experience, that podcast about Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Terence Crawford say that there is political boundaries to prevent the Spence fight happened. But at the end, he said, Bob, if that fight is not happening, it's because Bob Arum. And that was years ago. So if the timing is right, all this declaration about Bob Arum saying, I lost money about this guy, I can understand that because Bob Arum probably felt bad that his fighter says, okay, I'm trying to make you money, I'm trying to give you fights, I'm trying to compensate you, even if I cannot give you the Spence fight because Spence doesn't want that fight, neither PBC, and you're still throwing me under the bus. I can understand that.
Listen, let me say this. Terrence Crawford is biting the hand that fed him because it no longer feeds him. That's what he's doing. And that's why I interpret the whole thing as ungrateful, because you tell me if Matchroom, Matchroom couldn't have did no more for you than Top Rank, and that's the truth. Golden Boy couldn't have did no more for you than Top Rank, and that's the truth. Nobody out there could have remedied the situation that you were in because you were under, you signed, and this is the part that kills me. You and your representation made a decision to sign an exclusivity deal with Top Rank and ESPN. Your people did that. You know what I mean? That was your team that decided to do that. That in and of itself limited you to fighting on that network. And what did Errol Spence Jr. say not but 4 years ago? I'm not going to ESPN, and you're going to blame Bob that the fight didn't happen? He said, I'm not going to ESPN, bro. I'm not.
You're not going to blame the LDBC? You're not going to blame the LDBC and its channels and its constituents that, try to, that divided black fight fans and, played on tropes that are played out? You're not going to put them in this lawsuit?
Yeah,
it's real nonsense, bro. It's real nonsense.
Of course not, because now he's trying to get extra fans.
What all the narratives they've been pushing and shit like that for the last 4 years.
So why would you want those
this
type of
is.
fans anyway?
So let me tell you this.
This has to be like the worst.
Wait, fellas, let me tell you this about the PDF. In the PDF, it alleges that Bob Arum tried to imply that fighters of a certain denomination don't sell. Yet Bob Arum is on camera saying the biggest and best fight at welterweight is Crawford versus Spence. So it can't be both. He's on camera saying that this is the fight. This is the biggest fight. Whereas you're alleging that, he doesn't think that fighters of a certain denomination can sell. That's bullshit, bro. That's bullshit. He couldn't get you the Spence fight. What do you not understand? It takes two to tango, and Spence didn't want to dance. You cannot blame Bob for that.
Yeah, Bob Arum is not the one that pushed the goalpost,
exactly.
Constantly. You know what I'm saying? Get a belt, then I'll fight you. Guess what? Terrence Crawford got a belt. He took Jeff Horn's title. Then it's like, he's on the wrong side of the street. You got to come on this side, and so on and so forth. So it's really not Bob Arum. It's fucking Spence and his fucking team.
He won't blame him.
And Spence says he's his own boss. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's bullshit. You're talking, you know what I mean? Like,
blackout.
Look, Terrence Crawford's next fight's going to be on the PBC, gentlemen. We already know.
We already know. I know.
I'll laugh my nuts off if Ugas wins.
Now, fellas. I wanna first. Let me put this up. Let me see. Did I put it up? Okay, I put it up. Let me see. Okay, I think that's the one that was up before. I want to put up some. First, let me read some super chats. Shout out to El Padrino. I appreciate that, bro. Shout out to UK Rob. Did Bob order the code red? I don't know. Looking crazy out here.
You can't handle the truth.
James Jackson says, heard Floyd offered to sign Bud to TMT. After reading the details of the Bud case, he might just because he doesn't seem as smart as I once thought he was. And I agree with that. The main thing here is that you're trying to make it seem like Bob Arum is solely responsible for the Errol Spence Jr. fight not happening. And that's a big part of why I think it can get thrown out. The only part where it kind of seems like he has a case is when he's talking about the breach. He claims that they entered into an agreement for the Kavaliauskas fight to where he will receive a bonus in excess of $900,000 every time he fights, and it's not Errol Spence. And once again, that's what he claims. We don't know how true that is or isn't. That's just what he claims. I struggle believing that Bob Arum and Top Rank would have promised you that when they know they cannot deliver you this guy if he doesn't want to fight. But the even crazier part is, okay, you're trying to get money because they didn't offer him the fight prior to December 31st, 2020. Well, prior to December 31st, 2020, what happened? At the end of 2019, he got into a car accident. He spent most of 2020 recovering from the car accident. He doesn't get medically cleared to spar, much less fight, until September of 2020, at which point he decides to fight Danny Gersha. And you telling me it's Top Rank's fault that they didn't make him an offer?
This is nasty works, B. Yo, Julius, I gotta ask you this question. Who's putting him up to this? Like literally.
No. You want my honest opinion, Chris? It's Al Heyman. Because I said this on the last live.
You know what? You might be onto something.
Listen.
You don't think it's not Daniel Kinahan?
No, I don't. It makes absolutely no sense for Daniel to do this. The reason I believe that it's Al Heyman and the PBC, and I could be wrong. I'm willing to accept that, right? Why is Brian Friedman here? Brian Friedman, who represented Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, who after he parted ways with Top Rank, where did he go? He went to the PBC. So who put Terrence in contact with Brian? Somebody at the PBC. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he don't get Thurman or somebody next. Like,
now, I had a question, Jules. Like, let's
maybe
say
Tim Smith. Probably.
Is Top Rank going to? I mean, not Top Rank. Can PBC afford to pay Mikey and Spence? Mikey and Crawford if they fought?
This is the thing, right?
Or Eddie?
PBC will put anything onto pay-per-view. Anything.
No, hold on. This is the thing, right? I've heard a lot of things about what's going on at Fox, and that Fox is like, yo, the budget is cut, bro. Like, we want pay. Like, if y'all want to get on, we'll put y'all on pay-per-view. You know, and that's what we've been seeing, which accents budget cuts. That they're not just going to throw money at your fighters just because your fighters have big egos. That's what's going on right now. Like, they ain't just going to give y'all whatever y'all want because y'all been underperforming. Feel me? Remember, Wilder versus Fury was a joint venture between ESPN and Fox, and that is a pay-per-view that lost millions, right? Even if y'all made it back after that, it don't matter. Y'all still underperformed. The Errol Spence Jr. pay-per-view with Danny Garcia, that underperformed. Ruiz versus Areola, I don't know what they were expecting to make, dog. I don't know. But that shit didn't sell absolutely fucking nothing. All right? So all your shit is underperforming. That's one. Can you promise Terrence Crawford 3, 4, 5 million up front? And how? Where? Who's gonna give it to him? Who's gonna pay the bill? That's why I'm kind of on the fence. Like, yo, dog, if you doing all this to get in the PBC's good graces, who's gonna pay you $3 or $4 million up front per fight? Who?
Exactly. And the only one that can afford that is Eddie Hearn.
Exactly.
But to fight who, bro?
Mikey
Eddie
Garcia.
Hearn is not going to get him the fights that he needs, to be considered like an ultimate. That's the thing.
Does Eddie really want to though?
Taylor fight, right?
Eddie said he doesn't, Mark.
Fighters,
like that's the thing. Like people keep talking about Eddie, Mikey, Garcia. But does Mikey want to do does Eddie want that with Mikey after the last Sandor Martin fight? Come on, that dude came in looking like me.
Let me tell you one motherfucking thing, all right? Mikey Garcia wouldn't park his car next to Terrence Crawford's car. Gersha. He's not Garcia. I know I got to see ya. He's Gersha, right? He's of the Beverly Hills Gershas. Because that motherfucker would park his, hilarious. He would not park his motherfucking scooter next to Terrence Crawford's bike.
Mikey's the same guy that walked away from $2 million to fight Yuri Orkis Gamboa. That's what.
Remember? Jules, because they're both Kinahan fighters, does this necessarily mean Taylor's off the table?
I think that, listen, this is the thing, and it's a common sense argument. I've said this in at least 2 lives already. You don't go this route if Josh is the guy you're trying to fight. You don't go this route. And when they asked Terrence Crawford, on the Porterway podcast, who are the guys he wants to fight? He didn't say nothing about no Josh Taylor, bro. He didn't. He said Keith Thurman, Ugas Spence. And I've been did a video on that. Like, yo, dog, this is who he wants.
Wait, when was this? When was this Porter podcast?
This was immediately after the fight, not but 1 or 2 days after the fight.
So
It's
look, right
it's on
for
Sean Porter's channel.
so Sean Porter, who's, if I'm not mistaken, he is hired to the PBC, isn't he? He is hired by them, right? He's hired by the PBC. He has his own podcast. Crawford doesn't do any podcasts. After fighting Porter and Porter retiring, he goes on to Porter's.
Talk about
He
it, Mark.
goes on to Porter's podcast. Porter, the only PBC fighter who'll fight him, right? In the last fight of his entire contract with Top Rank, and then immediately afterwards, he has a lawsuit against Top Rank, and the only fighters he's mentioning are PBC. Come on!
Listen, didn't he
You can't script this shit any better, bro. This shit is scripted, bro.
Chris,
Scripted.
he said that because my fight was on ESPN Plus, that's why it didn't sell. Will you stop it? It's UFC fights on fucking ESP, and they sell, bro. So cut the fucking shit.
And he complained.
I bought his fight too.
Oh God! Like I'm gonna say this, man. This is the worst attempt at a fucking heel turn,
Isn't it? This is like how he did Hogan.
Yeah. He said, I didn't sell because it was on an app.
Look,
all the fight didn't sell because it was on an app. Like, well, what else do you want? It was not just on an app. It's on ESPN.
So the stupid people that don't know how to hook up a fucking TV to the internet.
Can I ask a question? Right? Jay, how many people are on the panel, real quick? How many are on the panel?
There's about, let me see. Hold on. This fucking thing. I got a new laptop. I hate the scroll feature. All right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people on the app.
Right. We've got 7 boxing fans, me, Jay, and you guys, because I can't see who's here, right? I'm gonna ask all of us this question. I'll go first, right? I'll just go first. Have any of us ever here became a fan of a fighter because of a promoter? For me, no.
Because I like people who beat people half dead, man. You know me.
I like that shit. Listen, and wait, nobody interrupt me. I'm a big fucking Ryan Rositsky fan. I would love to see him beat the shit out of fucking Alen Babic. All right?
Alen Babic beats the shit out of him. Let's stop playing. Stop playing.
Talk about it, Jay.
I become fans of fighters based on managers because managers telling me who's coming up.
Yeah.
If Espinosa Boxing tells me about a fighter, or if Egas tells me about a fighter, okay, let me pay attention.
No, listen. Mark made a valid point. At the end of the day, the boxing fans like who they like, irrespective of the fucking promoter. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I like Stephen Fulton, but I fucking hate the PBC. I like Jermel Charlo, but I hate the fucking PBC. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Jay, let's put this to this perspective, right? Me and Jay spent months hyping a fight. Ioka and Tanaka, right? A lot of people hadn't seen them fight, right? They didn't become fans of Ioka and Tanaka because of me and Jay. They watched that fight, and now they're fans of those guys.
Exactly.
They seen them fight.
Hey, funny thing, hell,
only the true fight
Inoue has
know
more
about
of a gripe
Ioka and
against
Tanaka.
Top Rank because nobody's becoming fans of him since he signed with him.
He's losing fans.
He's losing fans. That's facts. What I'm gonna say is, okay, you see the next portion of the PDF that I've put up that says, let me see. Top Rank is a boxing promotional company founded and led by Aram, who has been called out as a racist by numerous individuals in sports and entertainment industry, even has made millions of dollars exploiting individuals of color. And for that, he owes me $10 million. I mean, like, I don't see what you're because think about it, Mark. Like, you're saying that because people have called him out that he owes me $10 million. How does that work?
Why did you sign to him in 2011? Let's not talk about re-signing. Why did you sign to him in 2011? Why,
Listen,
after 2 years, why did you get that fight with Ricky Burns and become 135 champ? This is stupid, bro.
Chris, think about it. You're gonna go back in time. Listen. You're gonna go back in time.
This shit is stupid, bro.
You're gonna go back in time to apartheid and South Africa, right? You're gonna go that far back in time. And if his reputation was already that bad because you're going back in time, then why the fuck did you sign to him twice?
Why did Floyd sign to him? Why Floyd sign to him? Why Oscar De La Hoya sign to him? Why did a whole bunch of Hall of Fame?
Why Shakur Stevenson sign to him?
Why, Terrence? That's stupid. I
Why
like
is
Terrence,
Keyshawn
but like,
Davis just signed to? Why
Exactly.
is Jared
Keyshawn
Anderson signed to?
Listen, I want to say
I
this.
like Terrence, but I don't know why he wants to do this heel stuff. It's stupid.
Last of a dying breed claims to be Terrence's cousin. Last of a dying breed. If you listening, you tell Bud that I still love him, bro. I still love his fucking ass. But this is fucking stupid. That's what the fuck I could like. I love you, man.
I fuck with Bud like cook food, but like it's stupid.
Listen, I hope that something happened to where he could get money because I know he in his mid-30s and all that. So I hope he could get money. I don't want to see nobody fucked up. Right?
Shooting himself in the foot.
But this is fucking dumb, bro. This is dumb. This is dumb.
And especially when a guy has all those connections. Bob Arum is not somebody you really want to fuck around with, bro. Irrespective, but bro, let's really talk about it. I'm not. Let's talk about it. The yarmulke wearing individuals, they're nothing to be played with.
Hey, don't take it. Wait. We not on my channel, Chris. You can say that shit.
You leave the fucking kippers alone, bro.
Hey, shut the.
I know.
Let me read the super chat. He has PBC people in his ear. He has PBC people in his ear. No way Bud pulled this on his own. I don't think he did.
I don't think so either.
Eric Luna says, even if Bob promised him a Errol Spence Jr. fight, it's up to Errol if he wants that fight. We all know he's ducking Crawford, which is what I'm saying. LT says, Virgil Ortiz could be with Jake Paul Promotions, and I would still love what exactly, bro. Exactly. He could be with fucking Jake Paul. I'd still fucking watch him fight, bro.
Jake Paul is the future of boxing promotion. Lies.
Jake Paul is a lesbian. I'm just playing. I'm just joking. That doesn't even make sense. I know.
Do you know who arguably my favorite fighter is, and probably my least favorite boxing personality is his manager, right? Usyk's probably my favorite fighter. I hate Alexander Krashuk. He's an absolute cuntbag. He's a scummy individual. If you've ever done research on him, absolute swine. But I still like Usyk.
Look, but I could stomach Alexander. What I can't stomach is like, yo, dog, Usyk makes money, bro. There is no fucking excuse for you not to have a good haircut. Usyk get all type of different hairstyles, and Krasiuk always look like he fell out the garbage. Even
bro. Hold on. Alexander Krashuk looked like a fucking. He looked like an Eastern European version of Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified Skill Survival Guide.
Wow. He looked like unfolded laundry. If unfolded laundry was a person, that's Alexander Krasiuk. Like, yo, bro, I know you got money, bro. You telling me they don't have barbers in the Ukraine? I never seen Vladimir with a fucked up haircut. I seen him with a choppy fade.
He lived in Germany for a long time, bro.
They got good barbers in Germany.
There's black people in Germany too.
That's what I'm trying to. There's good barbers in Germany. All I'm saying is your client gets a lot of money, so don't fucking tell me you can't find a good barber in the whole of the Ukraine, bro. I don't even believe that shit.
Jay, can I ask you a question? How many fights did Crawford have on this deal total? Like, how many did he fight in? 5 or 6?
The deal started with the I believe the deal started with the Benavidez fight. So it's Benavidez, it's Kavaliauskas, it's Amir Khan, it's Kell Brock, and it's Sean Porter. Those are the fights. So that's
Did you say Egas? Did you say Egas?
Yeah. Mean Machine.
Okay, so he got how much for each of those fights?
He got a lot of fucking money for those fights, bro. He got like 3 points. Listen, he got 3.5 for Egas. He got about 4.5 or 4.8 for Khan. He got 6 for Sean Porter. He got about 3 point something for Brook, and he got 3.5 for Benavidez.
So roughly, he got about 24 million off 5 fights.
Thank you.
His minimum was 3, and his minimum was 3 million per fight on that contract. Yeah.
So he for 5 fights, he got about 24 million, roughly about 4.8 million. Right. Mm-hmm. Now I'm just gonna put it out there. In the whole sport, on guaranteed contracts, he's the 3rd highest paid fighter in the whole fucking sport on a guarantee.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I still listen, and I want to address my haters. Everybody, just stay silent for a minute. I want to address my haters, right? You come to me with this stuff about how Lomachenko, and it's like, this is how I know that these guys just never done nothing in their life, because you worried about what people said about Vasyl Lomachenko. Oh, he's like Ali. You worried about dumb shit, when in truth, Lomachenko has never been on pay-per-view in America by way of Top Rank. Do you know who has? Terrence Crawford. Do you think Vasyl Lomachenko gets the amount of money per fight that Terence Crawford gets? No.
Loma's only ever been on pay-per-view once. It was in the United Kingdom against Luke Campbell on Sky Sports due to match run.
But that's the point I'm making. That where do they get that Vasyl Lomachenko received better promotion than Terence when Terence gets paid more than Vasyl Lomachenko, has been on domestic U.S. pay-per-views more times than Vasyl? Like, what do you want Bob to do? Suck his dick?
Hey, yo, pause.
Bro, I'm just being real. Like, wait. What more? When they say, and this is why I hate talking to these cats. You say,
just imagine that narrative. Just imagine that picture.
Bro, chill out. Hold on. Now, when you say he needed to be promoted better, define promotion, bro. Did you know he was fighting when he was fighting? When the Kavaliauskas fight came around, did you know about it? Yeah. Did you watch it? Yeah. Then what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you talking about? If you knew every time Crawford was gonna have a fight, how the fuck is he not being promoted?
Here's the thing. What people will then say is, right, but he didn't cross over in the mainstream. Now, for me, I was taught about boxing, right, by boxing fans. And that's how I became a fan of the sport, right? And I think that's the way for most people. They get told about a fight from the guys. They're like, oh, this is the fight, right? The reason Maypac hit such high rarities is because people were telling people who were telling people who were telling people. Mike Tyson, word of mouth started to spread from boxing fans to other people, like, oh, you have to see this guy. He's a killer. He's an absolute killer, right? That's what happens. But when you have a conglomerate of fans running around constantly saying that this dude ain't shit and doesn't deserve a fight, people ain't gonna want to watch that dude.
Listen, Mark, you know what I'm gonna do, Mark? I'm gonna leave those matters in those hands, because what I notice is I'm not gonna chime in to everybody's fucking issues, because at the end of the day, they're not my issues, and I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. I don't need to worry about who's a backstabbing piece of shit, who's full. I don't need to worry about none of that shit. All right. What I know is when Top Rank told me that Terence Crawford was going to fight Sean Porter, you know what I did? I bought the fucking fight. That's what I did. And I still have my receipt. Every time Top Rank told me by way of ESPN that Terence Crawford was fighting, I either paid for the fight or I watched the fight if it wasn't a pay-per-view. So don't tell me that he wasn't promoted when I only heard about the fights by way of Top Rank. And you fucking heard about the fights by way of Top Rank. So the difference between me and you isn't that the fight wasn't promoted. The difference between me and you is you didn't buy the fight, you piece of shit. And you want to talk about now you care about Terence. Now
tell it.
No, oh my god.
No, they were showing you year-end subscriptions for ESPN, not the pay-per-view.
Fucking bullshit. And these look, Drew, you know what kills me? I don't look for the arguments. I'm on my page saying what I'm saying. I don't look for the arguments. You fucking morons look for me because you know I'm telling the truth. You don't pay for none of that shit. And you feel guilty when I do that. You feel guilty when I say, look, I bought the fucking fight. Well, because Terence is my fucking guy and I'm going to support him. Same as it.
Julius be giving these dudes nightmares. He be in their dream calling them all types of pieces of shit in their dreams, bro.
You know what? You know why I do it as an adult? I call these guys pieces of shit because they mommy and they daddy didn't call them pieces of shit, so they would have been raised better. See, if they would have been calling you a piece of shit for the fucking shit you doing, you wouldn't be a grown ass man doing that bum shit. Because to me, that's some bum shit.
bro. I've been that's why I fuck with you, Julius, man. Like
that's facts, man.
That's why I fuck with him, like literally. Because like a lot of people be wild pieces of shit. Like how did you see a black fighter who became undisputed and the LDBC said and the LDBC said, oh, well, who he fight? What?
Listen, it's going on right now. Now hold on. It's going on right now. And I don't want to die on a hill over the goddamn shit, but I've said this. Jermell Charlo has the same number of belts that Gennady Golovkin had when he was ranked number 1 pound for pound. Now, I am not demanding that Jermell Charlo be ranked number 1. I'm not demanding that. That doesn't make sense given what's going on. But I am saying that this guy is a pound for pound fighter, and they don't give him the credit that he deserves neither. Y'all sitting around talking about Maul bitch ass when Maul ain't do shit. Jermell is 1 belt away from becoming undisputed. Just 1. And y'all don't give him no shine neither. All right, you
Because they don't like Mel. Mel be doing a lot of tweak stuff. That's why they don't like Mel. But
are
at the
we
end of the day,
boxing
what you're
fans?
saying
Are
is
we
fact.
boxing fans? But are we
Sing
boxing
fans,
fans or we
yeah,
Twitter
I'm a
fans?
boxing fan. I'm a
You know what I
boxing
mean?
fan, and Mel should be in
Mel,
the pound for pound list.
Mel
All right.
doesn't stay in cold.
Right,
That's Mel.
Leo, right, because that's the shit that I heard. Oh, he not on code. He not on no motherfucker. You not on code. When you steal pay-per-views, you not on code, you piece of shit. And you think that because you broke, oh well, I don't gotta buy it. Why you broke? Because you're a piece of shit. You should have $100 for a pay-per-view. I'm sorry, if you ain't got $100, you piece of shit. I don't care who you are, you a piece of shit. You should have $100.
That's
You
crazy.
should have listen. You should have $2,000 to do whatever the fuck you want to fuck it off on condoms and whatever. All right. Period. If
Quick
you
question, Jules.
go ahead.
Are you gonna get to that Cambosis Haney back and forth on the next relay with
Hold on, say that again because my wife was just cursing me out.
the Cambosis Haney back and forth about Haney's like we're waiting on an
Oh
offer. George is like, we're waiting on an
listen, we're
offer.
gonna talk about that, but more than likely, what the relay gonna be about, at least the first segment, is my man from New Jersey, Shakur Stevenson, Oscar
And
Valdez.
Oscar Valdez.
Go
Wow!
time. It's go time.
Yeah, because
go
it's taking
time.
too long for this Haney Cambosis fight to get made already.
And listen, and I'm
The
sick
new
of this
face
shit.
of Top Rank.
The clock is ticking
You mean
before
this?
Vasily
You mean this
Lomachenko.
Cambosis
Now,
Loma
fellas,
fight, man?
now what I'm gonna say is I got boots on the ground. Listen, fellas, I got boots on the ground in Australia, and I've been told week after week that Matchroom people and Eddie have been in Australia doing something. What I don't know, but that's what I've been told in reference to that fight. That's what I've been told, literally week after week, that they're trying to do it. At this time, I don't know what the holdup is, but I'm sick of the lightweight division. I'm going to focus on Stevenson and Valdez because they about to do the dance. I'm tired of talking about guys and why the fight not happening. I don't want to hear about that shit. Call me when the fight is happening.
Jay, let me just say this real quick, yeah? Couple of fights that are on the horizon, right? We've Super Floyd back in action, right? Chocolatito and Estrada, right? Quadras and Rungvisai, Quadras and Rungvisai, and we've got bitches left and right and center complaining about Haney and Cambosis. Shut the fuck up and enjoy the really good fights we have.
Exactly.
Come on.
Because they getting too much to me, they getting too much airtime. Like George is talking about coming back in May, and the main problem that I've always cited is if you're talking about coming back in May, from now till May, won't the WBO order a fight between you and Loma? So that's why I'm like, I don't want to get in that convoluted
The clock
shit.
is ticking on that. Yep.
Exactly. Like I don't want to get in that convoluted shit too much or spend too much time on that because there are actual fights. Oh, Coley versus Cieslak is a good fight. Don't tell me different. That's a good fight.
That's a wet fight, bro. That's wet as hell.
All
like
right.
people.
You know what I was thinking? I was saying to myself, like, I just had a random thought. I'm like, yo, Lawrence O'Coley should go out of his way and get a tattoo calling out Maris Breeders.
Hold on.
We ain't tying no man on our body.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't.
No, I mean that's a little bit. I mean, no, but that's a little bit much. But Jacobs versus Ryder. Jacobs versus Ryder. I'm sorry if that's not what other people like, but I actually like that fight because I
That's
think
a good fight, man.
I think John stands a chance based on how doodoo Jacobs looked with fucking Rosado. Yeah, he stands a chance. I want to see that. Warrington, Josh Warrington versus Kiko Martinez too. How do I know that Kiko not going to knock this motherfucker out? I don't know that. I got to see the fight.
I'll be honest with you. My problem with that, and you already know, Jay, is it's completely political. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
I don't disagree with you. With you. But for Kiko, right, it's a great payday. That's the thing. Could he get the payday fighting the Spanish dude? What's the Spanish dude?
Mauricio Lara.
Yeah, would he get the payday fighting that dude?
No, but listen.
Now, why
here's
would
my
you want to fight a dangerous guy like that?
Hold on. I think Warrington should have to fight fucking Lara. That shit's not dealt with. I don't like it. He vacates the title so he doesn't fucking fight Galahad. He has a fucking 2-week replacement opponent. He gets fucking beat up. He goes in. It's anticlimactic. It ends in a fucking no contest draw, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That shit ends. Galahad gets the title by outpointing Jazza Dickens, who he'd already beat up like 2 years ago. Gets knocked the fuck out by a 36-year-old fucking Kiko Martinez who's been shot for a decade. Right?
Stop it. I'm going to tell you what. Stop it because I swear to God, I swear to fucking God, even if by some lucky dog fucking chance in hell he beats Kiko, right? This dude don't beat Ogawa. He don't beat Ogawa.
No, he don't. No, he don't.
He don't.
I don't care.
Shanichi,
He has to
purple
put
hair,
Lara again.
LGBT
Why
Ogawa?
aren't we pressuring for that fight to happen,
Ooh.
man? That rematch
should.
has to happen.
I'm not. Listen, I
Anything,
want.
Lara deserves the title shot, not Warrington.
Listen. I agree, but look at what happened to Pablo Cano when he fucking. Maybe I'm desensitized. Maybe that's what it is. Remember when Pablo Cano knocked Jorge Linares' fucking block?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
He should have got something after that.
Now listen. Unbeknownst to most, that was a WBC eliminator intended to line up Jorge for a WBC title shot. Now Pablo wins the fucking fight. What happened to Pablo? I haven't seen him since, bro. It's like the ground swallowed his ass up.
Remember when Sergio Thompson beat
he got knocked out, Jay. He got knocked out.
Yeah.
He got knocked out. He beat Linares.
I remember that. Sergio Thompson, yep.
He beat Linares. He got the international silver, yeah. He defended it against Ortiz, and then he got knocked out by Zarilla.
Oh, well, there it is then. He fucked himself in the shit.
No, but to be fair, listen, the COVID shit became a big problem, and he couldn't really get onto TV. Then he comes back and he gets knocked out by Daniel Zaria.
Let me correct myself. I'm having a brain fart. I brought up Kenichi Ogawa, IBF 130-pound champion when we're talking about featherweights.
Yeah, but you were right though. He ain't beating him. You were right.
I mean, he would beat the shit out of him. But better still, I got my divisions tied up.
The featherweight division is different because the WBO is Navarrete. IBF right now is Kiko. The WBA is still Leo, but like Lee Wood and Conlon are fighting for the fucking.
He's not gonna fight the winner of that fight.
What do you guys?
I know that, and then the other champion is Gary Russell, who fights once every 11 years.
Exactly.
Okay, so then we're on the subject of featherweight. How do you see next week's weekend's fight going?
I can tell you what I want, Virtuoso. I want Mark to knock his fucking ass out because
I will deliver.
Deliver it.
I have a feeling Mike Maxwell might win. I just have a gut feeling.
All right, now first let me read the super chat. Shout out to you guys. Hopefully y'all staying safe in the snow. Yes, we are, and we're gonna get back on this this salacious case, this bullshit case of how a legendary black boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. was called soft, and Terrence Crawford and his legal counsel thinks this gives them precedence to sue for $10 million.
Wow.
And claim that he shoots up cars.
So because of that, I should give you $10 million.
You prick.
You're fucking nuts, bro. Like, these guys are nuts, man. Like, really? Because this is your case? Because I said something bad about Floyd? I owe you $4 million or $10 million, something like $14 million. This is what you taking me to court for? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I just feel like this is all coming from Al Heyman, and I know that it's gonna sound like I'm just looking for a reason to go after Al, but this is honestly one of the shittiest cases I've ever seen.
And mind you, do you think he's gonna get paid the same way he got paid on Top Rank? No. And all that money, like if Bob Arum has mercy on this kid, I'll be surprised. But say Bob Arum wants to be vindictive, and he's all in his right to. A lot of that purse money is going to be paid back to him. So at the end of the day, he really shot himself in the foot. Good God.
I mean, and there's just, I advise everyone to just screenshot what's on the screen and other screenshots that I'm going to post so that you guys can read through the case. And as you read through it in sequence, you realize how silly it is that a lot of it reads like the kind of arguments you'd have with someone in the comments of a YouTube video or on Twitter. Well, he said that he's so that
Julius, what did I say? Julius, what did I say about America? America's high school, bro. America's high school. I thought this is the highest level of, life, the court system. And you see the high school-minded individuals that the courts have to deal with. No wonder that these judges are so mean to people stepping in their courtrooms because they have to deal with this type of nonsense.
I mean, like, I read through it, and I read through it twice just to make sure that I wrapped my mind around everything I was reading and processed it. I read it twice. And I'm like, yo, dog, this shit reads like a argument under a YouTube video. Like, are you serious? Because he said Floyd is soft. You honestly think that bringing that up makes it makes you look like a fucking idiot, and your lawyer doesn't care because he's getting paid by the hour anyway. So he doesn't.
Exactly. It makes him look childish. It does.
Bro, I can't see how he's gonna. I think if he
Julius,
has,
you have the whole
if he,
PDF of this?
hold on. Let me say this. If he has any dignity, man, he should drop this case.
Yes. Yep.
I think this is about more. See, in today's climate, right? A case in point, you know, you guys know that I don't like Jamal Charlo as a fighter, right? I always say he sucks. So the other day I do a video and I'm basically saying that, Paulie Malignaggi thinks that Jamal can give Canelo a run for his money. I don't, because I think he sucks. In the comments under that video, oh, you racist. I'm like, yo, you see what I mean? It don't take nothing to say something about somebody. Just because I'm picking Canelo to win a fight, you jump to the conclusion, like, really, dog? Is that just...
And you like his little brother!
That's your dog. It's wild. So, Bob,
this is a virtue signaling prosecution here.
That's what I'm getting at, virtual. So that I'm like, today. It's not about being right. It's not about being, it's not about winning a case. It's just the simple act of saying it so you can defame the person that way. Because in today's day and age, people make up their minds already before they hear the facts. They haven't heard the facts of, look, I don't presume to know what Bob Arum says behind closed doors. I'm reading what you're showing me and analyzing that because that's what you thought was evidence of what you're saying. So when I read it, oh, he says something bad about Floyd, big fucking deal. He says something bad about Bivol. Oh, he says something bad about Al, big fucking deal. He says something bad about Eddie Hearn. Like,
can I read this? He consistently mocks rival boxing promoter Al Heyman, who is a black man in his relationship with black fighters. Are you kidding me, Terrence? Really? Mean. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's
like Terrence. Really? My nigga, it's Chris. Terrence, my nigga. What do you want, B? Real talk. What do you want, my nigga?
Now listen. That's what I mean. Like y'all have seen that Bob Arum has spared no expense to insult Eddie Hearn as much as fucking possible the last 3 years, right?
Yeah. I don't think Bob likes himself, man. I don't think Bob even likes himself, bro. Because if Bob liked himself, by this time I wouldn't be going through all this. If I'm losing money, I'm in my 90s. I'm potentially. I don't know if my days are numbered at all. I don't want the stress in my life, bro.
All I'm trying to say is that, yes.
Bob Arum's an old crank. What do you
expect? Hold on. Bob is an asshole. Granted, I don't dismiss that yes, he's a fucking asshole. Because when you've been in this industry for 50 years, you have to be. But he's an equal opportunity asshole. That's the thing.
You give it to everybody.
But I loved it when he called out Mike Coppinger on his bullshit. That was like fucking gold, bro.
Listen, it's just that you process this for me, fellas. Listen, don't say nothing and process this for me. The same lawyer that represented Mikey Garcia is now representing Terrence Crawford, who alleges that Latino fighters get preferential treatment from Bob. Was Mikey getting preferential treatment from Bob?
No.
And this is the same fucking lawyer in both cases. It's like, bro, how could, wait a minute. You saying that your client alleges that Latino fighters get preferential treatment. So how many Latino fighters in the top ranked stable are making what Terrence Crawford makes? How many? Is Oscar? Is Miguel Burcho? Which one? Hey, I'm getting old. Virtuoso, I have a question, Virtuoso.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what Latino top-ranked fighter has been on pay-per-view more times than Terrence Crawford in the last 4 years? Which one? Please tell me, because I'm getting old.
Bro, I can't name one. I cannot. I seriously cannot help him out with that shit.
What preferential treatment are we that he shake their hand, that he say nice things? What kind of bitch ass? This is a bitch ass lawsuit, based on bitch shit. Cause he's nice? Cause what? Cause
bro, it's like you said, bro, it reached the fucking comment section of an LWC video. Like, come on, bro. The end is here, bro. That's what I've been saying.
The end is here. And let me tell you, motherfucker, something. Don't say shit. There's fucking aliens in Mexico City. There's fucking aliens in New Mexico. There was a fucking volcano eruption in the Pacific. The end times is here. When this level of bitch assness reaches the gates of heaven, the end times is here, bro. They are here.
You don't want that, yo, bro. If the Revelations plays out right now, we don't want that, bro. Stop saying that. I really don't want that.
The menstrual cycle of the universe is upon us.
Can I ask a question
The
real
rupture.
quick? Okay, so Bob has been on record saying that Guillermo Rigondeaux doesn't sell. Could it be a possibility that he may be promoting fighters based solely on demographics?
Hold on, my kids is calling me. Y'all hang tight. Y'all argue with each other.
No problem. No problem.
But yeah, did y'all hear my question?
Wait, repeat that question again.
When
he's talking about demographics, right?
No, let me come back to the shit. Let me tell you something. Is it possible that when Bob Arum said Rigo doesn't sell, Rigo doesn't sell? Is that possible?
That's possible, Bob.
That's possible.
Like, how many Cubans you know?
He's too Cuban school for his own good.
I don't know, but listen, I don't even bring that up because this is the thing. When he was talking about A, he was talking about A. When he was talking about B, he was talking about B. Now, unless he said a whole bunch of shit, I don't know. But I know when he was talking about Rigo, he was talking about Rigo. And now, okay, I'm gonna put my thinking cap on. Does Rigo sell tickets? No.
No.
Bob was correct.
Now, I'm gonna go to another thing. If Bob Arum's reputation has been this bad for this long, then why did Guillermo Rigondeaux insist on doing more business with Bob, even though he was no longer a top-ranked fighter? Mm-hmm. Remember, the Donaire shit, they cut him loose like, hey, man, you got to get the fuck out of here, right? All right. Yeah. So go do your own thing and be a fucking star. Did he
No, he cut him loose after the Saad Kokajim fight.
Oh, hold on, bro. The point is, how long has it been since Rigo was a top-ranked fighter? Years, right?
Years, bro.
And who
like 2013.
Now,
right around
after 2013, who was calling on Top Rank to make a Lomachenko fight?
Rigo.
Loma wasn't calling out Rigo, bro. Rigo was calling out Loma. So Top Rank is like, look, we can't get Loma no other fights. All right, well, look, here, Rigo, you got it, bro.
Loma spanked him like that was his son, bro. I really felt away about that fight, bro. I was tight, but hey, it is what it is.
You read these super chats. I got 3. Shout out to Liam Roskell all the way in Australia. Rugby League has a weekend in May when every team will be in Brisbane. George will fight in Sydney that week, Sunday, May 15th, 3 p.m. primetime Saturday, USA. I'm looking forward to it. I like George.
Ooh, that's great.
Now, let me say this. George Cambosos, and I feel like he's listening because my psychic earlobes is going off. George gets great haircuts. Sawab's Boxing says, yo, Jay, what's happening? Send a link. I'll send you a link in a minute. It's real crowded over here. Randy Arias says, que lo que, dope live. I appreciate that, Randy. Appreciate that, bro. And what I'm saying is, you can't keep saying that his reputation and his treatment of fighters is so bad when you're a fighter that signed to him 2 times, bro. If his reputation was that bad, you have to explain why you kept signing to him. If his reputation is that bad, Rigo has to explain, why did you want to continue doing business with Top Rank? There were other outfits out there. What I see is that when nobody wanted to touch you, Top Rank still gave you a fight. They never had to because you weren't Vasyl Lomachenko's mandatory challenger. They owed you nothing, but they still gave you the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Why the PBC? Since the PBC,
the kindness of their heart.
No, I mean, because they knew he was going to get fucked up too. But what I'm saying is, if Al Heyman is always looking out for somebody, right? He always looking out for his own. That's what Al Heyman is doing, right? Then why is Al Heyman the one that blocked the Santa Cruz fight? Why to this day, Al Heyman has still not let Rigo fight that man. And Rigo is a PBC fighter, and he still has not given him that fight.
Al Heyman did let Gary Russell Jr. fight Leo Santa Cruz for years.
Bruh, talk about it.
For years.
And Chris, I'm going to say it. Motherfuckers going to think I'm on some bullshit, right? But I see the shit. Like, yo, I see the shit, B. Leo let Al fuck, bro. That's what happened.
Whoa, come on.
Bro,
What's
I'm not
good
playing.
with you?
I'm not playing with y'all.
Haram, B.
Yo,
That's
you know what?
blasphemy.
Listen,
Stop blaspheming the Lord.
Listen. Leo is a weird looking motherfucker, bro. Like that motherfucker look mad weird. His face looked like a foot. His whole
It looks like
face,
a what?
like a foot, bro. Like the bottom
You
of the
think
motherfucker.
you think I was hitting it from the back? You think I was hitting it from the back?
Like, we
Yeah.
ain't gotta say all
Yeah.
that, my God. Like,
Come
God
on, bro.
damn, bro.
But you gotta
You started it, bro. And we gotta
Nah,
take
but
it. We
you
from
ain't
New
got-
York, bro.
Damn,
We
you
from
ain't
New
gotta
York. This is what we do.
Listen, nah, you ain't gotta finish it though.
you gotta call
No,
Leo
you don't have to
Troll,
start it, bro.
Listen, B. All I'm saying is it's a weird. Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: it's a very strange thing when a lot of people want to believe, and Drew often touches on this, and most people miss what he's touching on. That everybody likes to believe that Al is looking out for the bros, right? But he didn't let Gary, the bro, fight Leo Santa Cruz, and he didn't let Rigo, the bro, fight Leo Santa. Like, why you got this dude in a cocoon, fam? Nobody even fuck with Leo like that. Like, really? Nah, they don't. You acting like he like Canelo, like a baby Canelo. He not a baby
Canelo
Canelo.
Light.
Yeah, like Canelo without the trans fats. Like, nah, nobody fuck with him like that.
No trans fats Canelo. That is hilarious, bro.
Bro, who fuck with Leo, bro? Like on some real shit. Like,
You
that was a
do.
great
That's
Leo
your
Santa
man.
Cruz.
That's
Bro,
your man. You claim him.
I don't claim that motherfucker.
He's the Diet Coke of Canelo.
Bro, he not even a Diet Coke. He a Fantasy Springs out the corner store. He like that shit. Like,
See, that kill your
Springs, B.
That kill your sperm count, bro. Damn, that's bad.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, yo, dog, like, who the fuck ever got excited? Like, the last time I saw a good Leo Santa Cruz fight that I honestly admit it was a
Carl
very
Frampton.
Carl Frampton, the rematch. The rematch with Carl. Other than that,
Both fights were great.
that was a great fight. Both of them shits was great. But
Adam Ramirez was a good fight too.
yeah, but that was a minute ago, bro. Like that was
That
was a minute ago, bro. The other shit, the last rematch that they had, nobody wanted to see that. Like, bro, why the fuck you fighting Abner again? Won't you fight Gary so he can beat the shit out of you? Shout it. Like, this motherfucker's like 2'11", 2'11".
Or go to Belfast for that third fight, which never happened with Carl.
Bro, all I'm
That's
saying,
done.
all I'm trying
Gary
to say,
wanted that dude's face though for years though. So like, I don't know what Gary used to say.
Gary is a dickhead, bro. Like, I'm so sick. Like, Gary sitting here talking about he being avoided. He being avoided. Popular. Like, bro, you don't fight, my guy. How the fuck you gonna be popular when you don't fight? Make sense.
I was hoping King Tug would beat him. Like, oh, come on. There's a chance. Come on.
Nah, but he fucked King Tug up, bro. I respect that one because Nyambia is a very tough fighter, bro. Very tough fighter.
Let me tell you something. Nyambia, when he fought Gary, was prospect level. You talking about a dude that didn't even have, I think, 15. I remember I looked at the shit. I'm like, yo,
he had 11 fights, I think.
He had 11 fights, and he was coming off a year of inactivity. You telling me you got a dude 11-0, and he hasn't fought in a year? Only the PBC, I swear to God. Look at how busy. Don't say nothing. Look at how busy they kept Xander Zayas, bro. That motherfucker fought 6 times last year. 6, bro. Jared Anderson fought like 3 times. You got a motherfucker sitting on the bench, 11-0, unbeaten guy, not fighting for a year. Only the PBC, bro. Only the PBC. Now I'm gonna eat this motherfucking Big Mac. Go ahead, Leo.
I make the mistake of going on Twitter and respond to some comments against my own mental health. I cannot understand why some of these guys for example, the Amanda Serrano situation against Katie Taylor. They say Amanda Serrano fucking beats the shit out of her.
I saw that stupid shit too, Leo.
The level of confidence that you make it that statement, where does it come from? From Amanda Serrano?
It comes from
Sorry. Did she break contract with Eden Hearn because he was confident? Did he fall to super bantamweights because he was confident? He fought Gutierrez, a girl that Katie Taylor already beat because he's confident that he's gonna beat. I don't. Where those statements come from?
Déjame decirte
Yo,
algo, Leo.
Leo, you a
Espera,
funny nigga, B.
wait, let me champ the shit because I got a lot of. I'm glad that Leo brought it up because this is a sore spot for me that I don't get to talk to a lot of people about because everybody don't know the situation as well as myself or Leo. Para mí, la razón que yo pienso que Amanda una pendeja porque ella tenía un título ya en el 135 antes que Katie Taylor went professional. Durante salió Delphine Persoon. Ahora tú me dices a mí, ¿cómo va a ser que Katie Taylor debuts as a professional in 2016 and she ends up fighting Delphine Persoon before you? Yo, who got all that shit going on in their background?
All I know right now is Jake Paul's tweeting like he's the one that's getting the Canelo fight.
He might get it. Back to my point, right? The confidence. I said that it's either Conor McGregor or Jake Paul. You seen it? I said it, Drew. It's either Conor McGregor or Jake Paul.
And I'll buy it just to
Jake
piss
Paul
everybody
slap
off.
Canelo
Dude.
shit. Why don't Jake Paul slap Canelo shit, bro?
Stop talking like that. Stop talking like that.
But just imagine, bro. I would laugh, bro. I would throw boxing in the
I'll stop.
I would throw boxing in the garbage. Yeah, I would throw boxing in the fucking garbage.
God, I will start watching MMA if that happens. Point being,
yeah, bro. I'll read books.
All right, now let me address Leo's point, please. It's not confidence. That the only thing that's going on there, Leo, is she's Puerto Rican and I'm Puerto Rican, and that's all I need to know. Because anybody who knows anything about Amanda Serrano's resume, if you've been watching her, you know she has fought damn near no one. Damn near nobody. All right? Damn near. You only recently fought Daniela Bermudez, which I think is probably the best name on your resume, but you ain't even fight her at her weight. You brought her to featherweight. If you've been a champion at 122 before, why don't you go down there? I know why. Now, as far as her and Katie, this is what I'm gonna say. It's not that Amanda's a bad fighter. I don't think she's a bad fighter. I've never thought she was a bad fighter. But anybody can have a record like yours if they fought the people you fought. That's just the truth. Any one of those girls that's out there right now, if they did as much angling as you, they would be 7 division champions because you don't be fighting shit, yo. No,
I have to ask you a question, Julius. How long was Amanda Serrano been fighting? Since like 2009, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's been fighting nothing but like cream puffs and cupcakes.
That's what I mean. All right,
didn't she have like a sister who else boxed too?
Yeah. This is what I mean, right? There's no reason that Katie Taylor should come in way after you, debuted in 2016, and she ends up fighting Delphine Persoon. And you don't.
She fights the who's who.
She fight the who's who. She fight the who's who. She fight all the champions at 135. It was 4 of them. She fought all of them. And for extra credit, she went up to 140. All right, I'm gonna fight a girl with a belt up there too. While you out here fighting for belts that ain't nobody got. If you wanted to fight Bobby Juarez, she was right there, B. I don't want to hear that shit. If you really wanted to fight a lot of them, they was there, B. They was there for it. But I know what it really was. You don't want to give up home field advantage, and you can't afford to pay them to come to you. That's where Jake is helping her. That he could afford to pay, a girl in Mexico that got a belt to come to America. That's more or less what he helping with. But still, you fought Jamie Mercado, a girl from 122 at 126. Come on, B. Cut the fucking shit. Let me ask y'all a question. Why Amanda don't just decide to fight Delphine Persoon? Everybody know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody know her. They know her as the woman who unofficially beat Katie Taylor. You don't even sneeze in that woman's direction. You don't.
She know better. Like, imagine Amanda Serrano having to fight Elisa Baumgartner, Michaela Mayer, or anyone at 130. It would be bad. Hamadouche will run her over, bro.
Listen, can I tell you something? And I say this from the bottom of my heart. The Detroit Bomber, well, she ain't really from Detroit. She fight out of Detroit, but she from Ohio. She'll beat the shit out of Amanda Serrano, and I ain't even fucking playing. I would put all my money. Let's shut up. I would put all my money on Alicia Baumgartner to fucking smoke Amanda Serrano like a pack of cools. She was.
We will have to put her in jail after this, bro. Because man, how she be doing these broads, bro? I be watching, like I'm watching Alicia Baumgartner's fights of because of you, bro. Son, she's scary, me.
Yeah, she has to be scary if she like fucking made Terry Harper sleepwalk with that right hand.
Yo, bro, what's good with these Midwest dudes making dudes like sleepwalk? Like, yo, Tommy Hearns hit Pepino Cuevas. Pepino Cuevas looked like he was in Mortal Kombat, bro. He looked like he was in. He looked like he was in Mortal Kombat, bro.
Let me say something to Leo's point that he raised earlier, right? Because this is essentially what he was getting at. Amanda been moving nervous when it come to Katie for years. She been moving nervous, right? Now, when you want the fucking fight, you take the fucking fight. Andy Ruiz pursued the Anthony Joshua fight, feel me? Mauricio Lara, they offered it to him. All right, I'm in that motherfucker. Now, you actually got good treatment. They got you fights. They built up your profile. They offered you money you wasn't making at that time, and you spat in their face to put a year between you and that fight. You moving nervous. Now, you might get 7 figures off the fight, which is what you always wanted, right? It's what she always wanted. She wanted 7 figures for the fight. You about to get that. But it look a lot like, I don't want to gamble. I don't know if I'm going to win. That's how I read it. I don't know if I'm going to win. But if you want me to gamble, I'm going to need a lot of money. That's how I took the shit. Like, yo, you moving nervous, B. How much money would you start making if you was
scared money don't make money?
How much money would you start making if you the girl that ended up beating Katie? You didn't want to take that chance unless you was already going to get wild money. You don't believe in yourself, B.
Yep. Scared money don't make money.
You don't believe in yourself.
Like, let's look at Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor beat Jessica McCaskill, bro. Like, I don't think people understand how good a win that is. Like, McCaskill is an animal, bro. To beat Breakus twice and Katie Taylor beat her, bro? Come on, B. But in all fairness now, Katie kind of look like she's, on the slide, in my opinion.
Listen, she might be. Like, I don't care. See, this is the thing, right? I'm going to go as far as saying this. Even if Amanda Serrano beats her, I don't really get the sense that she is. I don't, but, you never know. It's boxing. But what I'm going to say is, yo, you move scared, B. Who you fought that was on the pound-for-pound list? Let me know. Because I could see that 2 girls that Katie decided to fight, they on the pound-for-pound list. If I look at ring shit, they got Delphine Pursoon on there. Who fought her? Katie. Katie fought her 2 times. You ain't fight the bitch once. Who else is on there? Jessica McCaskill. She fought Jessica. You wouldn't even sneak. You wouldn't park your car next to Jessica's car. You wouldn't. What I see is she fighting people and you not. The only real people that fuck with you is 2 types of people that fuck with you. Boricua, that they just Boricua, and that's cool. Eso está bien, pero I don't really give a shit that you're Puerto Rican and she's Puerto Rican. You got to understand that. The rest of the world is looking at that shit and being like, so? And the fuck do I care? Right? That's 1. And 2, people that hate Eddie Hearn. Because you only got 2 types of people that's really rooting for you. Nobody did nothing bad to you. Nobody did nothing wrong to you. You got treated so bad before Eddie Hearn came along that you was about to leave boxing. I remember in 2018. I remember when she went to 140 and won a belt and she said, win or lose, this is my last fight in boxing. I'm going straight into MMA. I remember all of that. And before Eddie Hearn came around, he offered you a 3-fight deal. And you was like, yo, Eddie's great and the money is great. 6 figures after this. That's what she was saying at the time. She stayed flipping the script. You was popping shit about Jake Paul before he signed you. Like that's why I don't respect her.
And my point is, like, Amanda Serrano moves like that, so a bunch of other motherfuckers. Errol Spence, Jermar Charlo. I can even put Tyson Fury in that. Maybe not Deontay Wilder for sure. All those guys moving nervous, and all these other fans saying, "No, this guy is gonna beat. Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder beats Anthony Joshua easily. Jermar Charlo beats Canelo easily."
Yeah, these are fans that talk up their fighters, but like they're too scared to lose their
Es que ellos son pendejos.
Retarded, my friend.
El pendejo is gonna relate to el pendejo. el palomo entiende el palomo y el pendejo entiende el pendejo. Esa vaina de Jermall Charlo, eso son pendejas, porque no, ¿cómo va a ser that yeah, you're gonna beat fucking Canelo when you can't even knock out Brandon Adams? Seriously?
Or Dennis.
And you struggle with Dennis Hogan, and you got hit with nothing but straight left. Nothing but straight left hands by white man Korobov, and
like,
you can't
bro,
blame on him.
Like that shit is childish, bro. Like
I'm not saying Korobov beat him.
At some point, you realize that a lot of them dudes is just saying shit to be saying. Like, you, bro, you don't believe that because if I tell you right now, all right, Canelo versus Charlo, I got $1,000 on Canelo. What you got? Nothing. You got fucking nothing, bro. I could be like, yo, I got $2,000 right here, right now. Cash App on Canelo Alvarez. I got $2,000, bro. You win or you out.
I got pay taxes on that, bro. So,
Julius, I got a question. If Chris Eubank Jr. Jermall Charlo fight had it happened, who would you think Eubank Jr. would beat?
I got Eubank. I got Eubank.
I think Maul would have got him. You know, I think Maul would have got him. Eubank don't got no jab, bro. At least not at that time. He did not have no jab, bro. So you gonna walk into a lot of shit just because you dive in and don't even set up your punches. So I would have went with. I would have at least went with Jermall on points because Eubank don't have no fucking jab, bro.
Well, in that case, he must really, really like work with Roy Jones Jr. closely. You know what I'm saying?
It's real shit. It's real shit. Ziggy Zane, I'm gonna say it's not a coincidence. What is the WBO? A Puerto Rican-based sanctioning body. What is Amanda Serrano? It's like you can't make it up.
Boring.
And I don't got nothing against Boricuas or nothing like that, but I don't have hair on my tongue like your dog. Like, who else you seen get to fight for that many vacant titles, bro? Like, who? Like, Meredith, like 7 out of the. She's a 7 division champion, right? And this is before she beat Heather Hardy and all of that. This is before that. About 6 out of the 7 was vacant. 6 out of the 7 were vacant titles, bro.
How did that even happen?
All WBO.
How you like? You really out here talking about like? And look, and I already know what. Well, how many titles did you? Hey, listen, motherfucker, I'm not talking about me. I'm just trying to. Listen, motherfucker, I'm not talking about me. But when we talking about Katie and Amanda, it's a difference between winning belts that ain't no motherfucking body holding and having to fight a different champion with a different base style every time you get out there for a title. And that's what she did. She fought Busto, she fought Sanchez, she fought Persoon, she fought Volante, she fought motherfucking Lenarda too. And any one of them girls is better than most of the girls that Amanda fought.
Those girls can beat Amanda, bro.
Nah, they can't. Nah. Persoon can. I'll say that. Persoon can. I think Christina.
Persoon might fuck around and lay her out, bro. Like
I'm gonna say Christina. I really, but she pregnant and she getting over the pregnancy right now. But like, if you told me, yo, Amanda Serrano and a prime Lenarda 2, 135, Lenarda 2 will knock ass out. Because what do you notice about Amanda's opponents? None of them can punch. None of them.
How about Amanda versus Natasha Jonas?
No, she'll get Natasha. She'll get Natasha. I think she would get Natasha, but is the Dominican girl that Katie Taylor fought, and the Dominican girl that Alicia Baumgartner fought that beat Alicia, gave her first loss at 135. Yo, I would
Duran.
Lenarda to Duran. I would pick her to beat Amanda. Wow,
That's
Amanda,
a good girl, bro.
Fam, don't you know she don't fight punchers? Who did she fight that could punch? Please, who? You fought little girls that like the only puncher I've seen her fight that was like, yo, this is a puncher. Realistically, yeah, she's a puncher from 122, but she's a puncher. The Argentinian girl.
Yeah, that's why I threw Jonas in the mix because we all know Jonas can crack. You know what I'm saying?
I know. It's girls that ain't got belts that will they'll mess her shit up. I'm just keeping her. That 7 divisions. That shit don't mean nothing when you know the names. That shit don't mean nothing when you know the divisions. You was fighting for belts, and I'm not knocking you, But if I tell people, yo, you know that 6 out of the 7 belts she fought for, nobody was holding them shits. Nobody was holding it. Who you want it from?
And they came from one send and one sanctioning body too. That happens to be where she's from.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, like, come on, man, keep it real, man. Like, I ain't trying to knock nobody, but it looked like what it looked like. What you want me to say? That's not the same. And this is why I have Jessica ahead of her on the pound for pound. A lot of people don't realize, right? Before she beat Breakers, she fought an Argentinian fighter named Erica Farias. Erica Farias was unofficially the undisputed champion of 140. Why was she unofficially? Because she beat the only other champion at that weight. They just didn't put their belts on the line because they didn't want the sanctioning fees. But unofficially, she was the undisputed 140-pound champion, and she was number 1 in the division at that time. Jessica was not supposed to win that fight, but she beat the bitch ass, and she did it twice, all right? That's why I give her credit. That's before the Breakers fight. That's way before that. Then she fight.
And I'm not going to Jessica's. I'm not going to Jessica Bank at all, bro. I want no parts for her at all. At all.
And you talk about all right. After she beat the shit out of Erica, who she fight? She fights Sanchez, another tough Argentinian fighter, WBA champion, right? Jessica don't got a lot of fights. Jessica got way less fights than Amanda, but Jessica fight better people than in them 3 fights. She fought better people than everybody that Amanda fought.
Amanda, but Jessica's a dog, though. She's really a dog.
She's an animal. She really is. She is.
Now, on that note, I'm gonna go close this live for a second, right? And I'll probably be back on another live later. But I want to, finish what I'm doing and shit. Get settled in. All right, gentlemen, it's a pleasure, and we'll pick up where we left off.
Pleasure as always, man. Be easy, bro.
Peace.
Bye.